What's going on, leaders? I am so glad that you are watching. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Carson's Library. This entire channel is made up of a group of individuals that are dedicated to becoming the best version of themselves. If you've watched before, welcome back to the library, and I'm so excited for today's video. But before we get into it, if you watch the video and you like any of the content that you see, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because you're gonna wanna see the videos that come out so that you can be notified when I post them. Also, make sure you give me a follow on the Instagram. It'll be right here below the screen. My Instagram is carsonholland.co. Make sure you give me a follow on there. I post every Saturday. I use my Instagram as a blog post for inspiration for people. So if you wake up on Saturday morning, it's the weekend, and you need a little bit of inspiration to get you going, to get you motivated, make sure you follow me on there. Go give it a check out. You're gonna want to give those a read. Today, we're hopping into a book review on this book right here, The Go-Giver. There will be a link in the description to go and buy this on Amazon, because I highly recommend that you buy this, and I will explain why in this video. The authors are Bob Burg and John David Mann, and you're going to want to stay tuned for this one because they write about the 5 laws of stratospheric success. So what is this book about, and what are these 5 laws to success that they talk about? Essentially, this book is about a man named Joe who wants more in his life but doesn't know how to get there. And through some connections at his work, he ends up meeting this old mentor named Pindar. And Pindar walks Joe through a series of a few weeks. He walks him through the 5 laws of success. And by the end of the book, you see that Joe has become fully successful in walking these 5 laws out. So what are these 5 laws, and how can you apply them to your life? Should you apply them to your life? Are they really that important? How did I apply them? Let's jump in. The very first law that they talk about in this book is called the Law of Value. And they explain the law of value just like this. Here's how they explained it. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Many people believe that their identity or their value in life is based on maybe how much money they make, or how many friends that they have, or maybe even how much happiness they're getting from other friends, or how much joy they're getting from their job. But in reality, your value is not based on that. Your value in this life is not based on the payment that you get, but your value is determined by how much you give to other people, how much you give value to other people, how much that you give advice, or you give life-giving and soul-nourishing encouragement to people. That is what gives you value in this life. The more that you give value than receive it. The second law that they talk about in this book is the law of compensation. And they say it like this: your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. A lot of times we like to think that our income is based on the type of job that we do or the education that we have, and that's determining how much money we get. But in reality, that's not the case whatsoever. We see CEOs with no college education who are running businesses that are generating billions of dollars. We see these, what I like to call secretly amazing people, where you think, oh my gosh, I don't understand how no one knows about this guy or this girl, but they are incredible. They always bring value to me. Your income is determined by how well you treat people. Your income is not determined by any other factor other than your character and how well you decide to serve the people around you. I have a friend of mine who I will not name here on the video, but he will know who he is. And every time that I'm around him, and every time that he wakes up, his entire motivation is, how can I best serve the people around me today. I encourage you, be like that person. Always be the person that says, I'm going to serve other people more than I'm going to serve myself. Now, the third law of stratospheric success that they refer to is the law of influence. The law of influence, this is how they explain it. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interest first. You see, influence is not something that you're given. Influence is not something that you're born with. You're not born with influence around other people. You build your influence. But a lot of people think, or a lot of people believe that you can build your influence based on how much you do. Or maybe you can take the second law out of proportion and you can say, if I just serve people like crazy, then my influence will grow. Well, no. According to this book and according to the law that they share, your influence is really all determined by you putting other people's interest before yours. You see, you could serve people with all of your heart, but you could do it after you take care of everything that you need to take care of for your life. Don't we often think that way? We often think, I just need to survive. We think it's survival of the fittest and every man is for themselves and I have to take care of me, and if I have enough for me, then I will take care of other people's needs. But no one likes to be around that kind of person. The best people to hang around and the best people to surround yourself with are those who decide to put your interest first. I encourage you, if you want to build your influence and grow your influence with people, decide today that you're going to serve other people's interests before your own. And that brings me to the fourth law of stratospheric success. The fourth law that they share is called the Law of Authenticity. They explain it just like this. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. The law of authenticity. No one likes being around fake people. In fact, it actually reminds me of plastic fruits, as odd as that may sound. No one wants to grab a fake fruit and try to take a bite out of it. A plastic fruit and try to take a bite out of it. No one wants to do that. Why? Because one, you can't eat it. Two, if you did eat it, it's very unhealthy for you. I'm a Christian. Actually, plug the necklace. I am a Christian. I'm not going to tell you what you need to believe, but I am very open about my beliefs. So I am a Christian, but one of the sad things that I see very often in the church world is that people come into church week in and week out with a fake face on. They come in not being authentic. You ask them how their day's going and they go wonderful, when in reality it's not going that way at all. Or vice versa, everything is going great and they want attention, and so they cry in the pews and go, life is damaging, when everything seems to be going well. The law of authenticity says that one of the most valuable things that you can do in this life is that no matter where you are, no matter what people you are with, or no matter what food you eat, no matter what ethnicity that you may be, that you simply being authentic is the most valuable thing that you can give somebody. So what is the fifth law of stratospheric success? The fifth law is the law of receptivity. And this is actually my favorite takeaway from this book, because before I read this book, I was in totally the opposite of what they explained. Here's how they explain the law of receptivity. The key to effective giving is to stay fully open to receiving. Have you ever tried to buy someone lunch and they go, no, it's okay, I feel bad? That never made sense to me until I realized that I was that person. Every time someone offered to buy me lunch, or every time someone offered to give me a gift or something, I would say, oh, I feel so bad. No, it's okay. One of the things that we have to remember if we want to be successful is that we can give. In fact, that's what every law so far has been, giving to other people. But we also have to remember to be open to receiving, because we cannot take away someone else's right to give to us. We must be open to letting people have the same right that we have. So I encourage you, Stay open to receiving what other people have for you. Now, I've already said it slightly in this video, but my favorite law was the Law of Receptivity. That was my main takeaway from this book. And ever since I read it, I have been more open to receiving from people. And because of that, I have actually grown in my influence. Because of that, I've actually grown in my joy, my overall joy in my life. I've grown in my happiness. I've grown in my vibrance. I've grown in my motivation because I've simply been open to receive from other people. In fact, it's actually helped me in reading more books like this or more books about leadership, because I used to have this subconscious part of me that said, no, I can take care of myself and I understand this. And it subconsciously cut me off from receiving things in books, from receiving concepts from experts in their books. So I would highly encourage you. One way that you can apply this is to apply the law of receptivity, or to apply any one of the laws to your life and watch yourself change. I began to see that I could take in more information from books and grow my character even more, because I simply decided to be open to receiving what people have to give. If you like this book review, or you have any books that you would like me to review and me to read, I encourage you, leave a comment, tell me how much you liked it, leave a comment on that book that you want me to read. I'm going to leave this book in the description. There will be a link to Amazon to get this book. Again, I highly recommend it. It'll take you maybe an hour to read, maybe 2 hours to read, depending on how fast that you read. Really highly recommend this book for you guys to pick up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos come out. And make sure you give me a follow on my Instagram at carsonholland.co. Until next time, keep reading.